Welcome to Hollywood South Stunts News and Entertainment for the latest and greatest information in the stunt industry today. I'm Jody Brockton and I'm about to bring you our first episode that I'm super excited about. Please like and subscribe and leave your comments after, but without further ado, Chuck Borden. Welcome to Hollywood South Stunts News and Entertainment for the latest and greatest in the world of stunts today. I'm your host, Jody Brockton, and on set today we have a legend. I'm so happy he's here. He's had 30 years experience in the business, over 30 years, over 253 credits in the film business. He's not only a stuntman and stunt coordinator, he's second unit direct, and now he's moving into producing and directing. I'm so crazy about this guy. Let's hear his story. Chuck Borden. Thank you. So good to see you, man.
Thanks for having me.
All right, have a seat, have a seat. So I'm kind of familiar with not being in the business right away, and you have to kind of work your way into the business when you're not grandfathered.
Exactly.
Tell me how you got into the business.
Well, that's exactly it. I started just as an athlete growing up, and as a kid, you have these lists of jobs you would love to do. As a fireman and an astronaut and a race car driver, and on that list was stuntman. Of course, I had no idea how to start with that. And while I was still in high school, I was working at a place called Malibu Grand Prix, and I was a shop foreman. And my assistant manager, we would take the cars out at night.
Oh, fun.
On the way. As the sprinklers are going off,
Yeah.
and we're sliding all over places, having a good time. And he said, "Oh my God, you know who would love this is a friend of mine. He's a stuntman." And it was Mike Vendrell. And
Mike Vendrell, yes.
And I was like,
shout
"Oh
out.
my God!" And so he came out and we raced and stuff and played around, and he's kind of laughing and stuff. And I said, "I got to tell you, I've always wanted to be a stuntman. What does it take to be a stuntman?" And he says, "Well, why don't you come to the set with me and see what you think?" And so my first movie set was on Fast Times at Ridgemont High.
Wow,
And
that's so cool.
For the football stuff, and I was hooked from day one. It was all night shoots. We were out there all night. I'm hugging pads around and helping the guys, whatever.
Yeah.
Got to meet some legends. Yeah, and I was just hooked from that day on. I was hooked.
And then how did you kind of get into your SAG card and stuff? Tell me that story.
Yeah, that was a different one, because when Mike got me kind of the seed planted, and then he got divorced and moved away, and I lost track of him. But then, like you said, the seed was planted, and I just pursued it. I was whatever it took to be on a movie set. I was an extra for a year. I did PA work. I was a grip. I was a cameraman. Literally whatever it took to be on the set to network and meet people. Because, like you say, if you're not born into it, it's
hard to get into.
It's a rough.
You got to work. You got to pay your dues, do your due diligence.
Exactly.
All that stuff.
It's different than it is now, where you just put a couple vouchers in and
yeah,
you're in.
exactly.
It took me 3.5 years to get my SAG card.
3.5 years.
Hitting the pavement and being out there and handing out pictures and resumes and just always doing some student films so I can keep my skills and stuff kind of toned. But I think finally somebody just said, "Somebody please give this kid a job so he'll stop bugging us."
Exactly. Then it gets
yeah,
good.
And so I got a little job here, a little job there, and met some people, and slowly started building up and got onto this bigger and better things in the 80s. That was kind of the right time where there's a lot of work. But it was still a tight knit group.
It was real tight.
You had to break that circle and stuff. And it's luckily I was able to.
Okay, you rolled into coordinating. How did that happen? So you were stunt playing, and then how did you get into coordinating?
Again, struggling, and so I found being on the set, I was watching them set up the stunts, and I just thought, hey, this is something I can do. And I got ideas, and I didn't know how to, throw them in there. So, I just started doing student films and independent little low-budget films, non-union films, whatever it took as a coordinator, and just go in and kind of hone my skills a little bit and see what it's like. And I loved it from the minute I started. The creative end of me said, "This is for you, really want to
because now you get to create what's in your mind, what you think the stunt should look like.
Exactly. It's more than just somebody coming out there and saying, "Okay, you're getting punched and falling over this table and stuff." And now it's like, "Okay, let's twist this up a little bit. You get punched. We're going to have you hit this person, knock them over here," and I can really build off of that. And I enjoyed that much more than the stunts. I mean, I love the stunts. Don't get me wrong.
Right.
The creative end of it was really what drew me in, and being able to set the stuff up and do all the planning and organizing and eventually setting up cameras and stuff like that.
That's so cool.
It's really, which again led into the second year directing. So it was a nice progressive
I love that
step.
you've gone into that as well. Well, tell us about what you've been doing, what you just passed done, the House of Haunted Hill.
Yeah,
Haunting Hill.
House on Hill.
Yeah.
The first season we did that in Atlanta. That was my first really long series.
Yeah.
I mean, I've been on a lot of television shows, but not as a coordinator. I did Star Trek for 13 years.
Yeah, you did Star Trek for 13 years.
So,
I saw that.
I mean, I was on that for a long time, but I was never the coordinator. I was always, I mean, I helped, assisted here and there, but really not officially. So,
Gotcha.
Haunting of Hill House was the
Haunting of
first
Hill
one.
House, that's it.
Was the first one I really got to coordinate. And I came in with my director, who I did all of his films up until that point, actually still. And he just had this thing, and it's like, hey, we're going, blah, blah, blah. And send me the scripts, and I was like, I love it. And we went to town. And
That
I
is
went
cool.
from that literally almost right into Dr. Sleep, which just came out.
Yeah, tell us about that.
That was the same director,
You have
Mike Flanagan.
Mike Flanagan,
Yep,
this
I
is
love him,
good. This
and
is
he's a
good.
great guy.
And any crazy things on that set? Anybody?
We did some pretty off the wall stuff.
Yeah.
We did a stair fall. I mean, if you've seen the film.
I haven't yet, so I'm so sorry. I need to do my
finale.
research.
The finale is really
Okay,
good.
cool,
We did
cool.
a stair fall, but not just a stair fall. It goes back to the Outlook Hotel.
Oh, wow.
Where the finale is with between Ewan McGregor and Rebecca Ferguson.
Got to see
and
it.
they have the confrontation with the axe.
Oh, wow.
The famous axe from Jack Nicholson, and he swings it at her at the top of the stairs, hits her, she deflects it into her shoulder. She takes it winds up hooking him in the leg and throws him into the stair fall. So we literally did an air ram into the stair fall. And everybody's
Adjustment City.
Yeah, no, it was a good payday. Everybody was looking there. As soon as we started talking about it, it's like, that's going to hurt. I'm like, yeah. And of course, the first thing nowadays is like, well, we'll do it with CGI. Like, no, let me do it practical. We did the van crash with practical. We did the off the roof practical. We did.
See, I
all the
love
stuff-
to see that better than CG stuff.
Yeah,
It's so
exactly.
much more
The audience
entertaining.
knows it. I mean, I just watched a handful of things. I'm not going to mention the things because I really didn't like it because the CG was so bad and it ruined the show. And, and it's a good show.
Right.
And it's just ruined because the CG just doesn't match what everything else is going on. It just looked amateurish. And it's gotten better, and it's eventually going to be the way of the future. But I still think the audience can tell.
I
And
think
they-
so too.
Yeah,
I
and they
absolutely
want
do.
to see. They want to see the action.
wanna
They want
see
to see
the
the old
practical
stuff.
stuff.
The olden days.
Yeah, it just looks better. I think it
Yeah,
just.
we pulled the double off Casey. We pulled her off the top of the RV to the ground.
Wow.
And we had her on a ratchet, and she spun around and almost landed on her head. But it's like
geez,
it's
you got
amazing, amazing shot. We spent weeks rehearsing that. Same with the stair fall.
Yeah.
The air ram into the stair fall. It's to the best of my knowledge, it's not been done. And everybody says
I don't think it has either. So that'll probably be on the specialty stunt for the Stunt Awards.
we hope so. We hope
yes,
so.
Yes. Well,
there's a couple of
let's
them.
pump for it now. Let's vote.
And I've never been a big awards person, but I want to see it nominated for the stunt people.
Yeah.
For Casey Zeller.
Because they all love
and for
that.
Steve
We all.
Atkinson.
I mean, it is what it is.
Yeah,
dude.
exactly.
So.
And I mean, it's nice to be recognized. It's not what I do it for. I do it for for my peers and for myself. I mean, I do it because I love doing this.
Yes.
But the award is always a nice pat on the back. Is always a nice
It's always
reward.
nice. It's
Yeah.
always nice. Well, speaking of the people in the stunt business now, the new and up-and-coming people, and actually people that have been in the business for a while, kind of need some advice on what's going on in 2020 because things are different on the hustle,
Yep.
and everyone's got every coordinator has what you can do and what not to do, what bothers people. So give us advice on that.
Yeah, especially here in the South and stuff. There's so many opportunities and stuff. It's really about networking.
Okay.
There's stunt hustles now where instead of going to the set and meeting people and stuff, they actually have organized hustles where you can go and meet as a group,
Okay.
which is a great thing. But it's tough. Unless you stand out in the crowd, it's tough because now you're just one of 100 people.
It's saturated,
that's handing
isn't
your picture.
Yeah.
I mean, I just did one before we did Haunting, and I literally had a book this thick of probably 150 pictures of people.
Wow.
I couldn't tell you who came through. And you see them, and a lot of people I knew and a lot of people I didn't. And it came down to a look. I looked through size and stuff, and okay, this guy kind of impressed me. Who does he work for? And I looked at his credits and stuff like that. Or look who he's worked for. Call them up. Hey, what do you think of this guy or this girl?
Right.
It's really about networking.
It's about networking.
It's getting out there.
And anybody can they do anything to stand out in front of you? Just know your stuff. Don't lie about it. That kind of stuff. Because a
Definitely.
lot of people do that.
Yeah,
And,
and
it's
don't
just
fudge
not
your
good.
credits and stuff. People
Yeah.
want to be more impressive because they want to put credits on there.
Yeah.
And they put stuff on that they may be extra on. Just
don't do that.
Don't do it
Yeah.
because I mean I've had people come up to me with. I look at their resume and it's got shows that I did on it as
You're
a
like,
coordinator, and they don't know
I
who
don't
I am.
remember you.
Yeah, exactly. And I'm looking through and I know the show, and all of a sudden it's like, what'd you do on the show? I play it cool and like, oh, I was this creature, and it's like, yeah, who was the coordinator? Oh, I don't remember, but I came in because
that's a
I
big
knew an
faux pas.
AD or
It's
something
like,
like
oh,
that.
have a nice day.
Yeah, and I just choreographed it myself. And I'm like, okay, well, I know what this part is because I was coordinator on the show, and that's an extra. And, and I just hand it back their stuff.
Just
and
be
it's like,
authentic.
You know,
just be who you are. And if you've got the goods, doesn't matter what you've done.
Exactly. And time. I mean, about inspiration and stuff like that.
Yes.
If you want something bad enough, I mean, I'm a perfect example of it. You want something bad enough, it's going to happen.
Yes.
You just got to put in time. You got to be patient. And you
Yes.
just got to wait, and always be out there. Be ready.
That's what I'm hearing from everybody. Be patient, and that's what. Listen right now. You're hearing it right here. Also, what I wanted to ask is, what are you doing right now? What's your future like right now?
I'm, like you were saying, I'm trying to get into producing and directing. I've got a couple of scripts that are in development that I'm trying to get off the ground.
We talked, but I didn't know what you wanted to say, how much you wanted to say about it.
Nothing is set yet, so
Gotcha.
it's really, I'm having some meetings coming up for future work,
Good.
and then I'm also going to get them involved and do a short. Probably, if I come back next year, I want to shoot a short of my own
Okay.
that I can put out there. That I actually have a feature script based off of as well.
Gotcha.
But I can do the short in like 3 days, put it together, and then pitch that, and then hopefully get the funding for the
Perfect.
full feature. And then I've actually got a girl I work with on Haunting and Dr. Sleep that is this assistant producer, and she's looking at a couple of my scripts. And I'm not sure where they're going with that, but it's an
The
option.
connections, man, it's so good, and you never know what's going to hit.
Exactly.
You just never know.
Where you don't know where and when it's going to come or from who.
Exactly.
I always laugh. I tell people, it's like, don't forget who you're working with, because some of these people in our business, egos really get in the way.
Yeah.
Stunt people especially.
Yes,
they just
exactly.
got
I
this big
hear
head,
this.
and I'm like, I'm the stunt coordinator, I'm the stunt man. Like, big deal. Nobody
Yeah,
cares.
no one cares.
And you just got to treat people kindly, because you don't know who this. I did a show where the craft service guy was first time show, and he just asked me questions. I had time, and so we sat for like 45 minutes at the craft service table and just talked. 4 or 5 years later, I get a phone call. He's producing a show. It's like, hey, I just remember how cool you were on the set, and I really want to thank you. I'm like, hey, this is my pleasure. You were doing a good job. And he's like, well, the reason I'm calling is I got a job for you.
See, that's so cool.
And
that's the great thing. You left an impression on me when I met you back in the day, and we haven't had a lot of time that we
Nope.
spent together. But man, this guy is the real deal for sure, for sure.
No, I just do what I do. I love what I do, and I've never forgot where I come from. And that's the biggest thing.
Well, that's the biggest thing, yeah.
When I started in the 80s, like we talked about, it was all nepotism. It was all family and friends. And if you weren't in part of that little loop, you didn't work.
Exactly.
And so I beat until I get. So now I know that, and it's like if I see a new guy or girl that has talent, I try to give them a shot.
Yeah.
I try to put them in where it's a good spot, let them get some exposure, let them see what it's like, and then go from there. You never know. But I try to keep that up, and especially on the sets, I try to keep myself available. If I got time, I'll go meet out people that have resumes or pictures and stuff like that.
And that's super
just
cool.
to talk with them.
That's what people want.
Yeah.
That's like, you're one of the good ones.
Well, it wasn't like that. It wasn't like that. And I
wasn't
swore
like
if I make it, I'm not going to be like that. I'm
You're
not going to be one
right.
of these guys that rips up your resume in
Right.
front of me because I don't have time. That's bullshit. My days are numbered, and it's the next generation is coming
Well,
up.
as they're up and coming, and be kind to everyone on set, and that's, I think,
There's
a
no
good-
reason why not to.
Exactly.
And
Now, where can people find you if they want to find you? in whatever,
Yeah.
you don't want them to all find you,
No,
I get that. But if you
know-
don't want to, just say Facebook or whatever,
and
whatever.
I don't. I mean, I'm on Facebook.
Yeah,
I'm
there you
on
go.
Instagram. I have a website, either my name, chuckborden.com,
Mm-hmm.
which I don't really monitor, but at least it has my email on it. They can send me email.
Sure.
I have a company in Europe called Stunt Camp. And Stunt Camp.
Oh.
Donnell. Yeah.
Stunt cam.
Stunt Camp. And it's not what it sounds like. It's not a training facility. What it is for years I got questions like, who have you worked with and blah, blah, blah. And the two questions that always come up is, who have you worked for? Okay, that's easy. You just name off names.
Right.
And then what's it like to be a stuntman? How do you explain to somebody what's it like to be a stuntman? You can't.
You really can't.
So it's like, as I started talking, with my wife and stuff when I was in Vegas, it's like, we should do this. And a friend of ours, or a friend of mine, was opening up a studio right near the airport in Las Vegas. And they wanted to do his grand opening and stuff. And then said, can you do a stunt show? I'm like, stunt shows have been done. I mean, it's bringing a bunch of people in, asking for favors, blah, blah, blah. I said, let's do some hands-on thing. And so we set up a high fall, we set up a ratchet, some different things, and let them experience it. Put a cable slide in there.
See, that
Put them
is
in-
cool.
Yeah. So now that has
That
pushed
is
on
so cool.
to, it's like, this could be a business.
Yes.
And I moved to Holland. I live in the Netherlands now. And it was like, what am I going to do here? The movies are really sad. It's,
Yeah, that's not happening there.
it's all talking heads. It's,
Yeah, yeah.
The Voice and all these singing shows and talking heads. And it's because their market is so small. So it's like,
Right.
okay, what can I do to subsidize,
While you're-
my income and
yes.
stuff? So we started this business called Stunt Camp. And it's basically, it's anywhere from 2 to 5 hour program. And mostly it's kids, like 9% of our clientele is kids, 8 to 12.
Yeah.
And it's just let them be a stuntman for the day.
That
We have
is
a
so
saloon,
cool.
we do fights, we have a high fall platform, we have a hand pull ratchet. I got a car on the cable that
See,
we can
I'm sure the whole crew here would like to do that, hey?
It's a lot of fun. And it's a lot of fun for me too, because, as a coordinator, the biggest joy I get is watching the stunts come off well, especially when you get actors and you have to train them and
Oh,
they
yeah.
actually do it. So now I'm taking kids and doing the same thing. and seeing the joy that's on their face when they get to jump off of a 15-foot
See, and it's how
platform.
you make people feel that really matters in life. It really isn't about what you do, it's how you make them feel.
You know what?
Yeah.
With saying my days are numbered and stuff, and I want to see that I've done something positive. You know, that people will remember. You know, well after I'm gone, it's like these kids are coming through there. I just see how happy they are. They take pictures and they want autographs and stuff like that. And I know in 10 years from now, when they're getting out of school and stuff, all of a sudden it's like, remember we went to stunt camp? And it's going to make an impression. And that means more to me than any of the paychecks in the world.
That's where I'm at too with life. It's so good. Can
we
you leave us or share with us one of your favorite motivational quotes? Do you have one?
Going back to, if you want something bad enough, it's going to happen. You know, the patience thing.
I like that.
You
that
know,
works.
It's one of my favorites and stuff. And, you know, it's true. You may not have the abilities. I have a bunch of people come up and it's like, well, I don't have the skills and stuff. Like, what are you good at? I'm a fighter. Okay, then concentrate on fighting.
Yeah.
Focus on what you're good at. I got a guy that I've been teaching stuff, and he wants to do everything. And he's, I'm going to do horses. He's a rugby player. He's a big guy. And stuff. And it's like,
stick with something you're good at.
Do what you're good at. You're a ground pounder. I can throw you through that wall. I don't have to score it. I can throw you through that wall.
And you need more of those than you do a horse.
Exactly.
I was an equestrian. I never got used for my skills and stuff.
Exactly.
All these years, never once.
Yeah, I'm now just, I've been a race car driver from I was racing go-karts before I was driving cars.
Yeah.
And I went on, I was an instructor for NASCAR in Las Vegas for a while, for like 5 years. So I have a lot of racing background.
It's a long way from that go-kart stuff you were doing back in.
Way back in the day.
Way back in the day.
When I had to wrench everything myself, and now I go out to the track there, and I got a bad tire, and I come in, and I got 4 guys changing the tire for me. Like, this is cool.
That's a dream right there. It's like, I don't have to do this. I just jump in.
But that was a specialty for me.
Yeah.
And it wasn't until recently. I mean, I've done driving stuff like that, and I've done a lot of stuff like that, but it was mostly on my stuff or like close friends of mine.
Yeah.
The big gags always go to the guys that are established and stuff. And still, I mean, I just worked on Fast 9. And,
tell us a little bit about that. I was going to do a little set thing with you, but we'll do this after with little cars and stuff. But tell us about Fast 9, because that's exciting. I worked on Too Fast, Too Furious. So, the franchise is just always
it's
a
going
blast.
crazy. And it's really going nuts. I can't disclose too much.
Of course not.
But
NDA.
Exactly. There's a lot. We were in Tbilisi in the Republic of Georgia for 6 weeks, and they had already been in Thailand before that. The driving crew.
Yeah.
With Spiro was Autos and Andy
Spiro.
Gill was Spiro was directing.
Man,
and Andy is
and Jack Gill's out there,
Jack wasn't there.
He wasn't there?
No, Andy was running it.
Oh, Andy was.
Yeah, Andy
okay.
was running it.
Andy was
and
running
then they had their core group of guys, and then they filled in some of the rest. And Spiro, I tried to get on both 7 and 8. Because they were shooting one in Iceland.
That should have been right up your alley.
In London and stuff, and I'm like, guys, I'm right here. And by the time I heard it was going on, I mean, literally in London, I sent Spiro an email, and he's like, dude, we're wrapping this week. I'm like, if I only know.
Isn't that wild? How it's like, you feel like you just heard about it, and it's like you're rapping.
Yeah, exactly. Well, that's just it. By the time word gets out, they're already done.
Yeah,
you know?
yeah.
So when this one came up, I knew some of the people from before, and they said, I'm getting ready to go to Thailand. I'm like, oh my God. So I sent a message and email, and said, well, I'm already set for Thailand. I'll see what I can do about getting you on Georgia. And sure enough, I get a call from Kelly, Andy's daughter, and it's like, hey, I understand you're going to be working with us, and blah, blah, blah. Like, really cool. So 6 weeks of nothing but driving. I mean, it was just the driving crew, and it was crashing cars.
That's
and sliding,
heaven right there.
With a big rig and all these cars racing all over the place. And we did cannon rolls and just sidewinders. I mean, you name it, we were doing it. It was nuts. It was absolutely nuts. Yeah, 40 guys.
So fun.
It was a lot of fun, and like I said, cars are, especially now. I mean, I still love to do the stunts. I still love to hit the ground, but it hurts more now.
It does hurt a lot more.
You reach 40s, 50s, and I'm going to be 60 in a handful of years.
Are you? Oh my
gosh. You hit the ground so many times, and it's like, oh my God,
what do I do? You don't want to do that. That's why you're producing and directing.
That's exactly.
What the deal
you step
is.
up to the next level, and I don't mind sitting back and watching the new guy. I get the same thrill watching a stunt I set up. The stair fall on Dr. Sleep. I had just as much thrill watching that happen as it was if I did it myself.
See?
Because I can appreciate what goes into that because I've been there. So, I still get the adrenaline rush, and I don't even have to do it, and I don't have to be sorry. Perfect.
That is so cool. Well, you heard it here. This is Chuck Borden's interview with us at Hollywood South Stunts. We are so happy that he was able to join us. Please stay tuned for more episodes. Thank you, Chuck.
Oh, you're very welcome. Thank you for having me.
Thanks for watching, guys. I hope you enjoyed that episode. So please do not forget to smash that like button and subscribe. We'd love to hear all your comments, so please leave comments below. And we'll see you next week with Christian Stokes. Adios.